In Module 5, we're going to discuss maintaining an appropriate environment for residents with Alzheimer's disease. We're going to talk about the physical, indoor, and outdoor environment, security and safety, schedules and routines, and staff as part of the environment. Maintaining a positive and healthy physical environment is an important aspect of dementia care. People with dementia rely on environmental cues to support them physically, cognitively, and emotionally. So unfamiliar, chaotic, or disorganized environments are stressful and can cause anxiety, disorientation, and other behavioral problems. The physical environment can encourage and support independence while promoting safety. For example, a positive environment has recognizable dining, activity, and toileting areas, as well as cues to help residents find their way around the residence. The optimal indoor physical environment feels comfortable and familiar as a home would, rather than a hospital. The environment should be less about physical structures and more about feeling inspired by the quality of the place. For example, a home environment provides opportunities for residents to have privacy, sufficient lighting, pleasant music, and multiple opportunities to eat and drink, and also minimizes negative stimuli such as loud overhead paging and glare. Now, when we talk about an outdoor physical environment, providing easy, safe, and secure access to the outdoors while maintaining control over unauthorized exiting enhances the environment. There is an increasing body of knowledge that supports the long-held view that our natural surroundings can have a profound effect on people's health, well-being, and quality of life. With this in mind, gardens and outdoor environments are increasingly being reintroduced as an important tool in the care, behavior management, and contributor to the quality of life of people with dementia. I would further recommend research into designing outdoor spaces for dementia. There's multiple books and there's articles, information about wandering spaces. The main point is that whenever possible, dementia residents should get outside. Residents who have elopement behaviors also need opportunities for safe wandering. And we will discuss wandering in the second half of the course when we talk about behaviors. So I'm going to talk a little bit about safety and security in the home environment, because in-home safety is a top priority for a loved one with Alzheimer's disease or dementia, whether they live alone with other family members or with a part-time or a full-time caregiver. First, it must be verified that the loved one knows what to do in case of an emergency, such as a fire. If they're unsure what to do, there should be a plan developed, including an escape plan that can easily navigate without assistance, if possible. Make sure that all smoke and fire alarms and carbon monoxide detectors have fresh batteries and are operational every 6 months or even more often than that. Create clear, easily readable guides with emergency numbers and basic steps supported in readily visible areas, including by all phones. Beyond emergency planning, though, there are many other precautions that can enhance the safety of the home. One of the things that should be done is removing any potentially dangerous tools, utensils, and machines, or at least securing them out of reach. So even if your loved one has been a woodworker his whole life, such equipment, of course, can be dangerous when somebody has dementia symptoms. So possible objects to secure include sharp kitchen knives, guns and ammunition, and even kitchen appliances. Appliances that have the automatic shut-off feature can be a good compromise if your loved one is forgetful but still able to use the standard kitchen appliances. Also, monitor the use of medications and alcohol. Most people with dementia can manage simple medication regimens in the early stages of the disease, while some may struggle with more complex regimens or even simple medication regimens as the disease progresses. So if your loved one needs help managing their medications, there are automatic medication dispensers or even a smart pill dispenser to make it easier. So just make sure you keep the bottles with the remaining medication stored safely out of reach. Also, remove or secure potential hazardous chemicals. In some cases, people with dementia may become confused about which products to use and mistaking a harmful substance for a same one. So all household toxins such as household cleaners, gasoline, etc. need to be secured to avoid accidental exposure or ingestion of harmful substances. Address lighting concerns. Vision impairment coupled with poor balance and a decline in strength makes your loved one more likely to trip and fall. Ensuring that all walkways and rooms throughout the home are well lit can help reduce these risks. Night lights are helpful to illuminate hallways and bathrooms, of course, after the sun goes down. Reduce the risk of slips and falls. So in addition to providing adequate lighting, you should also remove any tripping hazards that exist throughout the home. This may include cords that extend across hallways or footpaths, throw rugs that may slide on the floor or have raised edges, or any clutter that restricts the walking space throughout the home, such as magazine racks, floor lamps, stacks of books, or other items. And also be careful of animals, because I've had a few people get injured by tripping over their dogs or their cats. Install handrails on stairways, in hallways if needed, and in the bathroom to make it easier for your loved one to use the toilet and the bathtub safely. Non-slip grips for the bathtub are also useful for reducing the risk of slips and falls. Arrange furniture so that there's a clear walking path through all rooms used by your loved one. Avoid rearranging the furniture because this can lead to confusion. And you should also ensure that all furniture, particularly beds and chairs, are at appropriate height to make it easy for your loved one to transfer in and out. Place easy-to-read clocks and calendars around the home. Visible aids such as clocks can help your loved one remain oriented. Lower the temperature setting on the water heater. People with dementia may have an decreased ability to accurately judge temperature, so take this step and reduce the risk of burns. Outside the home is another area of concern. Make sure that sidewalks and other outdoor areas are well lit. Ensure that pools and hot tubs are closed off and secured. Keep paths free of leaves and debris and eliminate any overhanging branches. And sometimes our garages are the most dangerous part of our home. So go through the garage and the yard and get rid of any hazardous substances, or just make sure that they are securely locked up. Safety is one of several reasons that loved ones with dementia are better off in nursing homes than in their own homes. Unless a family is able to afford a private duty nurse or round-the-clock home health care, skilled nursing facilities offer greater safety and supervision for seniors who need that high level of care compared to living alone or with a family caregiver. Long-term care facilities would already have these basic safety precautions in place because they are legally required to do so. And all nursing home facilities engage in risk management practices to improve patient care. So eliminating hazards is one way of protecting patients with dementia, as is implementing security systems like remote door locks and alarms to reduce the chances of wandering. It is also possible to register residents with the Alzheimer's Association Medic Alert Safe Return Program, which is a 24-hour emergency response system for dementia patients specifically. And it helps to get patients back into their care facilities if they wander. Also, routine training of caregivers and facility staff in dementia care plans is also a smart way to ensure that patients receive the best care regardless of their cognitive abilities. And the initial assessment and care plan will tailor a plan around each individual's needs for safety and security. And we will discuss more of these specific safety measures in the second part of the training when we talk about specific behaviors. When we talk about schedules and routines, daily structure helps decrease the undesired behaviors that often accompany dementia. So these can be exaggerated reactions, wandering, sundowner syndrome, and we will talk about those in the future. When caregivers provide a strict daily routine for those living with dementia, irregularities and anxiety can be minimized, creating a much more peaceful existence, whether at home or in long-term care. So what needs to be done is keep a sense of structure and familiarity by maintaining consistent times for activities, such as waking up, meal times, bathing, dressing, receiving visitors, and bedtime. Let your loved one know what to expect, even if you are not sure that they are on board. You can use cues to establish the different times of day. In the morning, for example, you can open the curtains to let the sunlight in. In the evening, you can put on quiet music to indicate it's bedtime. Let the resident or your loved one know what to expect, even if you are not sure that they are on board. You can use cues to establish the different times of the day. For example, in the morning, you can open the curtains to let the sunlight in, and in the evening, you can put on quiet music to indicate it's bedtime. Now, doing everything on your own might be easier, but try to involve the resident or your loved one in daily activities as much as they are able. They may not be able to tie their shoes, but putting their clothes in the hamper is doable. Clipping plants outside may not be safe, but they may be able to weed, plant, or water. And of course, use your best judgment as to what is safe and what they can handle. And always allow plenty of time. People with Alzheimer's tend to be slow, so caregivers need to allow ample time when preparing for an outing or going to an appointment, and attempting to rush can precipitate aggressive behaviors and frustrate both parties. And also know that there will always be off days. Those days when a schedule can't be kept or the resident or your loved one is just not up for participating. Don't be discouraged. This will happen. Also, as they progress, their energy, interests, and abilities will change, and their schedule will need to change with them. Now, I think I might have mentioned this before, but when my son and I would go to the long-term care facility to visit my grandmother, sometimes she would just be like sprawled out in her bed or in a chair. And the workers would say, hey, we are trying to get her up, but she's just having one of her days. So my son and I would try to wake her up, and honestly, sometimes we could not. So I always planned something else along with the day so that we wouldn't have a wasted visit. So we would go to the mall or do other things like that. So just know that there will be those off days. Staffing is also part of the environment. Staffing patterns in long-term care facilities should ensure that residents with dementia have sufficient assistance to complete their health and personal care routines and to participate in the daily life of the residents. Consistent staff assignments help to promote the quality of the relationships between staff and residents. Direct care staff need education, support, and supervision that empowers them to tailor their care to the needs of the residents. For example, direct care staff should learn when residents wish to get up and how they wish to be bathed. They should also provide constructive feedback on staff interaction with residents. Staff supervisors may need ongoing coaching to help them empower and support the direct care staff to be the decision makers. Administrators have the role of evaluating facility policies and procedures to ensure that they support direct care staff decision making during real-time interaction with residents. Staff who understand the prognosis and symptoms of dementia and how this differs from normal aging and reversible forms of dementia are better prepared to care for people with dementia. Effective initial and ongoing staff training addresses dementia, including the progression of the disease, memory loss, and psychiatric and behavioral symptoms. Strategies for providing person-centered care, communication issues, a variety of techniques for understanding and approaching behavioral symptoms, including alternatives to restraints, and understanding of family dynamics, information on how to address specific aspects of care, for example, pain, food and fluids, and social engagement. Staff need recognition for their use of problem-solving approaches to providing care and emotional support as they deal with their own emotional reactions to the decline of residents over time and eventual death. Staff should acknowledge and accept a resident's experience. It should not ignore a resident's report of an event or his or her feelings and thoughts. And finally, direct care staff need education, support, and supervision that empowers them to tailor their care to the needs of residents.